why do people say that networking is important?
Networking is extremely important because in the end of the day, we are all human beings. Knowing someone always builds that additional trust. We are anyway becoming less social. So that again, I would say is a reason to really go out and network more.
Do you also guide students on how they can make an effective LinkedIn profile?
The idea here is to showcase yourself as a professional, to be able to connect to the right people once you get into a workplace as a professional. So why not jump in early? Once you jump in, that's when you move forward. So you have to always start from level 1.
I say there's a lot of traction towards internship.
They're getting the real world experience. I think internships are a core part of any curriculum in today's day and age.
Hello, viewers. Welcome once again to my podcast channel. My name is Ankita Puri, and I am the founder of Generation Alpha Education Services. Our guest for today is a very dynamic and a result-driven leader. Join me to welcome Ms. Megha Mani. Hello, Megha. Welcome to this podcast. For our viewers, Megha is working with IIT campus as manager in careers and exchange. It's a pleasure to host you today, Megha, to this channel.
Thank you, Ankita. Thanks very much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Great. I understand that you have had a long day today, but you still made out time for us. Let's do one thing. Let us tell our viewers a bit about you. Who is Megha, and what have you been, into in your career or as a person, an individual personality about Megha? Can you tell a bit about you?
Absolutely, I'd love to. So I have been in the education industry for a little over 11 years now in UK, India, and in the UAE for the longest time in the UAE. And it's been a fantastic journey so far. I have done many different things in the education industry, starting from marketing and admissions all the way to skill development for students. And currently, I am supporting IIT Delhi, Abu Dhabi, the first international campus, to help build their students towards their careers, to help them get the best jobs, and they should be able to contribute to the UAE vision of 2031 as well. So that's what I'm doing. Apart from that, I am a music lover. I love traveling, and I'm an animal lover as well. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Wow. So do you have a pet you take care of?
I do actually.
Wow.
Yes. I am a mom of a furry child, which is my dog. And yes,
Oh,
it's
that's
been
amazing.
with me for 5 years.
Much love to your darling baby out there. Great. I've been known to you and your work from quite a long time now, and I have seen you that you have always been at the intersection of education and industry, and you're very passionate about it. For viewers to know that I have observed many of your past projects and the deliverables which you have given to the industry. What's your passion? What keeps you moving, in this direction?
So yes, you're absolutely right. I have been in this industry for a long time, and what keeps me moving is the way it is evolving, and that speed has just started to grow so fast. And one of the things is, when I was very young in my career, I didn't have a lot of guidance, right? Back in the day, I literally had 2 or 3 choices that I could take. So that is something that always motivates me to be able to give those options to people. Sometimes people have options, but they don't know how to go about it. So I've always been passionate about helping people understand what is the right area. It's not just about your studies or skills. It's about the long-term goal as well. So that's one reason why I'm very, very interested in skill development of not just students, but also working professionals, and how can they move forward? How can they keep up with the ever-changing demands, the way things are evolving? It's been very interesting.
Lovely. So allow me to level up this conversation. We are zooming in for our viewers' better understanding. You remind me of a saying, skill over scores. A lot of students, even today, they work hard day and night trying to get the best of their scores in their high school so that they get into the universities. IIT is a name, every second child's dream to be an IIT for that matter. Do you have any opinion here, or do you have any inputs here, that when you are focusing on scores, and if you missed the bus of developing on skills, you should now take a chance or a step to get into this zone of skill development? What is your opinion or point of view on it?
No, that's absolutely right. Gone are the days when building skills or other human skills was an option. Now it's a requirement. So over the years, I've seen that shift growing. So scores or your academic background was always important, and which was primary, and everything else that you bring along was secondary. But that gap has becoming shorter and shorter, to a point now that there is no. It is actually equally important for a student or for a working professional to have both. Just knowledge is not enough. Just, let's say, a technical person, just that knowledge is not enough. They need to be able to have the critical thinking skills, for example, leadership qualities, collaboration with the advent of remote work. You collaborate with different nationalities, with people all over the globe. So that's a skill very much required as well. And before, it was all about having answers to questions. Now it's about asking the right question, right? So we've really moved completely to a different tangent, especially in the last 5 years. So I see this area to be extremely important.
But isn't it difficult, Megha, for a child who struggled hard just to gain that seat, that one seat in good institutes and universities, and after that great achievement, when the child enters the global platform and realizes, no, I really I'm a misfit at times. This is children, their psychology works slightly differently, isn't it?
Yes.
And I'm sure in your past experience and the current exposure, you might come across many children who kind of have created a shallow around them, a deep thought process, which is very dark, that no, I can't speak a word, but I'm a master on this subject. So have you dealt with such children?
Oh yes, I think that's where professionals like you and me come in to kind of help them, gain that. No matter who it is, public speaking, presentation for the first time is always going to be a challenge. It's now more of a requirement to do it as a part of your academic studies, like in your bachelor's or master's, or maybe even earlier, even in your high school. Great organizations and schools are giving that opportunity to students. So there is a lot of experiential learning happening. There is collaboration, contest, industries are invited to integrate with academic institutions. So all of these are platforms for students to start developing these skills earlier on. So thankfully, yes, most what I've seen is universities or schools have realized this, and they are taking more and more steps to integrate other things apart from academic studies into the curriculum.
Correct. And for parents who are listening to us today, I personally know, because I am into parenting genre as well, so I personally know some parents, I'll not say most of them, or certain parents, like some of them still feel if their child can speak in English, they have the skill to survive. And I often tell them it's not just able to speak in English, it's about having an impactful conversation, which is impossible if you do not have a content in your talk, right? So it's not just learning how to talk, it's about reading, gathering information, continuous researching. Do you also believe in this kind of a setup wherein these parents should listen to you as an advisor or a coach for their children?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's very important to understand that everyone has to be very well-rounded these days. It's extremely competitive, and students in general, I feel, especially children, I think they are more interested in so many other activities like sports, but even sports helps build so many different skills, right? So to be able to find the right avenue for your child or student where they enjoy and they also develop their skills is I think the way to go. But yes, you're right, I think there is a lot of education yet to be done for parents or for even teachers to know that this needs to be prioritized a little bit more.
Okay, I'll put you in a situation here, right? Okay. If I expose or if I hand over a child to you who is an expat in UAE, who has just come from India, excellent in studies, academic, no issues. The child has a very bright future. But when you stand on a global platform, you really need more than what you currently have. You have acquired from last 12 years of life. If such a child is given under your mentorship, any initial start points from your end to this child in terms of his overall development or skill development for that matter, would you like to give us some insight on it?
Absolutely. So while I guide students to develop their skills, it's very important to help them to learn how to self-learn. So my approach is always identifying areas of their interest, like the kind of movies they like, the documentaries they enjoy, and encourage them to do more of that. To probably follow people who they are inspired by, to actually read more on professional platforms like LinkedIn on about people who they follow. So it's literally like guiding them into the right direction and pushing them to do a little bit more than what they would normally do. If they have people that they are followers of, they should read their books, and that way they get inspired as well. So that's my initial approach to guide students and generate the interest for them to actually learn, and things like what you think you would be doing 10 years from now, and those kind of interventions is how I try to motivate them to do more.
I'm sure they must be vulnerable in the beginning, a bit shy of coming out of their zone of they've accepted the defeat initially, but you motivate them a lot, and as you said, you want them to learn self.
Exactly. And the other area is to go with the flow into activities, events, competitions. Any opportunity that gives you a collaborative and a teamwork option is the way to go. I remember when I was a child, I was so shy that I would just avoid being a part of any group activity.
I can't believe that, Megha.
Because I knew the content, I knew everything, but I was just shy to be able to talk in public, for example. So these are some of the areas that, students kind of stay behind because they are shy or their confidence is less. So to kind of encourage them to do more and more of these activities, like I try to tell them things like, no matter how much you learn about swimming, until you get into the water, it's not going to happen.
The first stroke you make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the earlier you do it, eventually you have to. Once you get into a workplace as a professional, so why not jump in early? Lovely. Once you jump in, that's when you move forward. So you have to always start from level 1. Lovely. So these are some of the ideas that I think works and resonates with students that I'm able to guide.
Amazing. You just established a couple of minutes back something called skills on having an impactful LinkedIn profile. And that's the talk of the town these days amongst these youngsters. And especially, I've been seeing many A-level students. They are day in and day night. They're working on their portfolio and they're building up their LinkedIn profiles. It's a skill. It's an art. It's a professional skill, we call it. So do you also guide students on how they can make an effective LinkedIn profile? And why is it important? If you can tell me, my audience, about it.
Absolutely. In fact, it was just day before yesterday that I had a session with some of our students on how to build a stellar LinkedIn profile, not just a regular one, but a stellar one. So the idea here is to showcase yourself as a professional, to be able to connect to the right people. Everyone's there on LinkedIn platform to connect with like-minded professionals. So if you do not showcase yourself in those few words, starting from headline, then you may not attract the kind of people. So yes, I think it's a very, very helpful area. I think you and me might also have met on LinkedIn, if I'm not wrong.
Very true.
I've built
Yes.
such amazing professional connections over the year directly through LinkedIn. And now they are friends, they are colleagues. So it's a very powerful platform if used correctly for students to connect with the right professionals, also follow them, understand what others are doing. They could see in the industry what people from the same field are doing. So there's so much of learning, so much little bit of sharing as well. So I think it's a very, very powerful platform for students, young students, to make an impact and learn as well.
And it's continuously evolving, right?
Absolutely.
What LinkedIn used to be years back, then it became a notice board. Anything related to achievement used to be on LinkedIn, and then the flowers and the heart and the claps. But now there is so much of valuable content. For me, LinkedIn is the next Google. If I have to look for something, I do go to LinkedIn articles and get the insights. And I'm sure our young generation, these youngsters who are right now students, maintain and take it next level. Talking about students and children who are right now in doing their graduation, they're still undergrads, and you are, I am sure, meeting day and night with them. Many are still wanting to know, why do people say that networking is important? As professional, I know you and me can judge the importance, but I am sure you might have your own version of explaining to the young audience what is networking and why should they really care about.
Absolutely, that's a great point. And yes, we understand the importance of networking, but not especially the young students and professionals probably don't. Networking is extremely important because in the end of the day, we are all human beings. We do make our decisions based on our emotional and subconscious mind a lot more than we realize. This is why you would often see that when you know someone, when you're working with someone, and you have not just interviews, but if it's a pitch, it's a proposal, it's a business development product or service, knowing someone always builds that additional trust. In the end of the day, every professional wants to excel in their job and they want to do well. So if they have to collaborate with someone they trust, they're always ahead. So as human beings, we are always want familiar face. We always like familiarity, right? So I think networking is very, very important from that perspective. Also, we are in a region where there's a lot of movement happening. People are moving into the country, moving out of the country a lot. So even from that perspective, the networking becomes even more important in this area. One, because you are building trust with people who you want to or may want to do business with here. Secondly, you're also building a connection and network with, let's say, people who've gone to Canada. So you eventually have a community there already because over the years you've networked with a lot of people who now own businesses in the US or India for that matter. So I think networking is extremely important. Also, we are becoming things have become very lonely.
Correct, agree.
Just through cultural programs, we used to network at one point.
I remember that, yeah, you very well recalled. I am sure that was an era when these used to be, these cultural or social programs used to be reason to meet people and learn about what's happening in life. What's your future plans?
In Mumbai, I think we used to have building events.
Imagine.
And I've met professionals who've probably given me ideas of what to do and move ahead in my career. I think when I moved to UK for my MBA was a suggestion from somebody in the building that I met at a building event. So that kind of networking was
so impactful.
Exactly. That kind of networking was a natural process, but with the internet and with us becoming more and more isolated, families becoming more nuclear, we are anyway becoming less social. So that again, I would say, is a reason to really go out and network more. it also ends up, you end up making friends for life as well. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Wonderful. But look at these children. They are still out of the, they just came out of their cocoon, you know. They've left their country, especially expat students who are here in UAE. Is there any start point for them? You may advise that, okay, guys, this is from where you start the networking process. And eventually they will, you know, build up their own pathway and their own net worth. But is there any start point as an education leader? Can you advise them rather?
I think there are two start points that they should engage in if it's possible for them. One would be to participate in as many competitions and activities. It could just be volunteering work as well. All of these opportunities is a chance to meet people from not just your own university or school, but others, the international ones as well. So I would say this is number one. The number two would be to travel, especially if you can get a mix of both. You can be a part of an event that's happening, or a competition that's even taking you out of the country or another city. That's a great opportunity for students. And I think they get a lot of these opportunities these days, but not everyone. You'll always see there are like few who are interested in these, and some who, like I used to be, because of being shy or don't want to face or like have a public speaking situation, would avoid. So my advice would be that to go and participate in as many of these opportunities as possible.
Lovely. Okay, understood. So I think you beautifully corrected the lenses of parents or maybe some education teachers also, wherein when we talk about networking, it's our lens. Go and meet successful people, those who have done great in their career, ask them what were their success and where did they failed. But from a student's perspective, you cleaned our lenses by telling the start point is way before that. It starts with peers. How many you know of your age group from different ethnicity or different force group. Then think of leveling up to the successful ones, and then the sky is the limit. That's an amazing insight. It can only come from an experienced person like you, I must say, Megha. That's amazing. Yeah. And I'm sure you are in dealing with students day in and night, chasing you for the LinkedIn profile. Can you check? Can you validate if I'm at par or not? Is that a regular instance in your work life?
To some extent, because in the end of the day, I want them to be independent in these choices and not want too much guidance as well, because each of them need to follow their own intuition and path in things like LinkedIn profile. But otherwise, yes, I do get students coming in. In fact, one of the queries that I've faced most in the last couple of days would be the certifications that they should study. Okay. So there are so many out there now, right? It's full of so many different options, and students just have 24 hours a day, and they have their academic studies as well. So which one to do and which one is going to add value is something that I have recently realized that I need to be able to guide them on which are the right certifications. Some of them are really long-term ones as well, right? 50 hours, require exams, require that commitment. So that is something which I have been trying to get myself up to speed with as well, to be able to give them the right direction.
Which brings this conversation to another level, wherein these certifications which are nowadays in market, some are free, some are manageable cost, and some are very expensive. Of course, they're serving different purposes and different level of engagements, I must say. But is this not the saying that since the industry demands, these certifications are floating in the market, but students are blind about making the right choice? So is there a requirement of acquired skills from the industry leaders? Because you have been you're a well-known leader who is always into strategic partnership with the corporate world. I personally know for a fact that your strategic tie-ups with the CXOs brings a lot of impactful projects in place. So from that angle, do you really think that these certification chase, which the students are doing these days, from last 1 or 2 years, maybe post-COVID, let's put it straight, is the need of the hour by the employers, future employers?
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that I'd like to mention is I have heard from employers as recently as last couple of months that they are not able to find or source entry level, people or employees who have the skills apart from the technical skills that they are looking for. So this is a constant sort of a comment from most of the industries, retail, energy sector, and so on. All of them have this kind of a requirement that I've heard recently. And one of the things that employers, I think, are some of the organizations are trying to do is they're trying to upskill their employees once they join them,
Okay.
because they are very clear about maybe the 2 or 3 skills that is required for their job or for their industry. So they are now working with organizations that can help upskill the employees. But I think more and more organizations are also looking at doing activities and events with academic institutions like mostly universities or schools, to be able to bridge that gap, to be able to also let the students directly know and the professors know that these are few things that we really want you to help. And many of them go for industry talks and also offer workshops. So that's a great way, and I can see that happening much more than earlier as well. So again, that's where people like me come in, who working for an educational institute reach out to corporate and say that, hey, we would like you to come and address our even first year bachelor students, because that's where it starts. And there are skills that cannot be developed within months or a year. It takes years. So those are the skills that the students need to start developing earlier on, so by the time they are ready, that they have that level
And
that
I'm
is
sure there's a
required.
beautiful ecosystem here in UAE, especially, wherein I say there's a lot of traction towards internship. That's nowadays children are very smart. You talk about program, they say, is it embedded with some internship opportunity? Sometimes we have to sit down and explain them, see what internship word is, how does this get incorporated. But talking about sticking to the discussion of corporate world here, do they offer internships which is helping these children to bridge the gap between theory and the actual implementation of those lessons? So how impactful these internships are, general, we'll not pinpoint any specific domain, but in general, are these internships impactful for a child's experience?
Absolutely. So internships were always important, but I think in today's day and age, the importance has really, really become very, very important for students. They're getting the real world experience of whatever field they choose to do. So absolutely important. And there are 2 types of internships that I've seen: some that are a part of the program and some which are optional, just summer internships. But I personally think students should do they should do the summer internships as well. It could be totally in a different industry altogether. Somebody might be studying a technical program, but they could do internship in a restaurant, in a cafe, events, because all of that also helps them to develop the skills that we are talking about. So yes, I think internships are a core part of any curriculum in today's day and age, irrespective of what kind of field or program they're studying. It's extremely important. It also gives students an insight into whether this is a field for them or not, right? So I, again, giving my example, I've done my hotel management. When I had my internship in a hotel in Mumbai, and I was actually working in the kitchen, I realized this is not for me.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't want to ever work in a hotel in the kitchen department. It's just simply that something.
What put you off? Any memory or any experience? I know you were pretty young at that time,
Exactly,
not gone
exactly.
to the
I think
age
it was just
though.
the physical labor part of it.
I see.
The physical labor was so much, like I could not even lift any things, because like
Oh, those
a
big
sack of
box.
bags of onions or potatoes.
Oh, for me, when you say, I work in a hotel. I always think of chef. I didn't realize
So when
till
you're a
now.
trainee chef, you got to help them. So that involves all kinds of
Oh.
physical activities. Like I could not pick up a crate of bottles of, soft drinks, for
Point of labor
example.
there, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, which is what made me realize that it requires quite a lot of physical labor as well. Even if you're a chef, the cooking. I mean, we cook at home for few people, maybe 10 people at the most for parties, but there you're cooking like for a large number of people and continuously. So I realized it's just so much hard work, which was difficult for me at that point. And that gave me an exposure into it, because before my internship, I was like, oh, yes, I want to be a chef. I'll work in the kitchen. After
Cruise kitchen, yeah. I've heard many hotel management
Yeah.
students. What do you want to become? I want to become a chef in the cruise. Why? Because I want to travel. Boy, there is a lot of hard work behind now. I can say that.
And if I want to say a little bit more on it, so I was a shy person, so I thought I'll get to hide behind,
Understood.
the kitchen area. I don't have to interact with guests. So it was also my, fear playing
Your way
there.
of hiding, yeah.
But then I was like, hey, front office seems nice, but then, hey, this is like full customer service. But then that's how so that internship completely changed my view 360 degrees to which department I wanted to go to. And so that's an example
That's
of
a classic example of how internships help you reposition
Yes.
your thought process. And I'm sure with this one, some parents might be keen to know. Those parents are maybe sitting outside UAE. Let's say they're sitting in India, and they might be keen to know. So these internships which are here in UAE, are they paid internships or voluntary internships, or is there a mix of both? Do you have any idea for them to ponder around?
Absolutely. So in one of the universities that I was working with, one of my core tasks was to match internships with our students and all of that. So I would say there are three types of internships. One that is very formal, by larger organizations who have a complete formal system in place. They get these 15 interns for a certain department, and they've been doing it for years. Everything's very clear. There's a stipend, may not be very high, but there's usually a stipend attached to it, because this is a process. They've been doing it for a while. And then many of these formal internships convert into full-time roles as well. So again, here this is a chance for the employer and the employee to test the waters, get to see if they are a good match for each other, do they match the culture of the organization, and so on. Usually 50% of these students who do these kind of formal internships end up joining the organization. So that's one kind. The second is more of a casual or not, it's a ad hoc internship. So sometimes, again, it could be any kind, smaller or larger organizations where they think that, okay, it might be good to have a few interns for certain roles. Here, sometimes there is a stipend, sometimes not. But there is a lot of learning process, mostly project based as well, something temporary. So there's a large event. It's an event that happens once in 10 years, and you need a lot of people to help in that event from all perspectives. For example, so that kind of internship is also available, like when we had the expo, for example.
Yeah, I remember now.
When the expo happened, we had expo people reaching out to us for as many students as possible. They had students come in from all the way from different GCC countries as well, right? Because they needed lots of hands, because there's so much going on. And I'm sure all of them, some of the students I saw doing different roles at the expo, had a great time as well. So that's the second category. The third category is a complete casual internship opportunity, which sometimes smaller companies like startups, they are looking at talented youth to be able to intern with them, eventually move into co-founder role as well as full-time roles, which again, the payment, not payment is very, we can't say, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But the idea of internship is the learning it's not just the learning of the student, it's also to educate the employer how good you are.
Correct.
So it's an opportunity to do that. So I think it's...
So it's a bigger picture, not just the paid, because I think salary is something which we should look up when we are talking about placements, final jobs.
Yes.
But when you talk about internship, we should question the university. What kind of internships and what's the achievement of my child after spending two months or say 1 month short term or long term internship bracket? So the gain is not in monetary only. If it comes, it's a pocket money, I must say.
Yes.
But if it's not coming, still the learning has to be measured, how impactful that learning is. So that's a very beautiful insight. I know you have been known for your, strategic tie-ups, and you have been bringing a lot of learning platforms for students in your own style. There is a Megha's version of launching these platforms which act as catalyst for these students who work under your mentorship. And there are many who might have got, inspired listening to you for so long in this podcast. We're almost, going to finish this particular episode of ours, but I want to ask you, what is that one piece of advice would you like to give the future aspirants, the students, maybe the parents of those students who are thinking of going for their higher education with reputed brands, the brand world-renowned universities? Many of them might be picking up UAE as their study destination. And from your perspective, being a leader in the education industry, what is that one piece of advice you want to convey to them?
Right. So one of the most important things I would like everyone, or especially students, to know is to try many, many different areas before choosing a stream. To have that, to know that you actually love what you're going to do is very important, because the corporate is no more a ladder. It's like a jungle gym now. So if you have to navigate through all of that for the rest of your life, you better be equipped, be interested, and have the passion as well. So my advice would be, if possible, not everybody always can find their passion. I'm still looking for mine. You have multiple passions as well.
True.
But if possible, to find that one area that you're passionate about, you want to actually make a difference, will help you take that leap much faster. So I would encourage parents, students to find that particular one area of passion and move towards that.
Wow, that's amazing. Identify your passion for your futuristic growth. That's a beautiful punchline we can promote on. That's an interesting talk. And audience, I am sure, and especially the viewers, if you are a parent, you must have got a greater insight of how the understanding of skill requirement for future employability works in this part of the world. And with this great education leader, Megha has given her best of the advices to all the students who are listening to us today in this podcast. Should you have more queries, you want to learn more about what kind of internships you can look out for, what are the different options of skill development, you know your go-to place. Reach us out and we're going to definitely help you through these experts. On that note, Megha, I am very, very thankful to you for pulling out time for us today. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And today was definitely special because I hosted you on my podcast channel. And I'm very grateful for your time.
Thank you so much, Ankita. It was an absolute pleasure, beautiful conversation. And thank you so much for having me.
Lovely. Have a fantastic day, everyone. And take care of yourself.